Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Menomonee Falls Public Library Board of Trustees monthly meeting. Tonight is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. First up is roll call. Nicole Barker, President.
Tom Ewig, Secretary Treasurer.
Dave Munoz, Board Member.
Ann Musselman, Village Trustee.
Jacqueline Romer, Library Director.
Ellen Rohr, Business Manager.
Nobody here for public comment, so we'll skip that. Next is the consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda will be approved in one motion unless any board member requests that an item be removed for individual discussion. The item can be considered at an appropriate time during the board's regular order of business or under new business. So we have the minutes of the last regular board meeting and the bill approval for June 2025 in the amount of $57,487.31. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes of the last regular board meeting and the bill approval for June 2025 in the amount of $57,487.31, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. All right, next up is a presentation by Jackie for status report of the Latitude Cafe from the last year.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's already almost been a year.
I know. It wasn't even on my calendar, the anniversary, but it came up really fast. At least in my mind. So the status report that I have for you, operationally, the statistics are September 2024 to present when they had their grand opening. But then there's some other information in there that goes back to September of 2023, which is when the idea of the coffee shop first came to be. So first statistic that I have for you is the shared revenue payments that Latitude has made to the library. So as you can see, starting in September of 2024, you can see what we brought in each month. The first month with the grand opening, we had $724.58 that was given to the library. So 10% of their gross revenue from this location is given to the library on a monthly basis. And then you can see throughout the rest of 2024, the running total for that year, it was $2,635.26. Then in 2025, our highest month was $781.99 in January. It did decline a little bit. Our lowest month was May, which it was under $600, so it was $555.39. And then we came back up in June with $674.40. So overall this year, we brought in $3,931.64. Grand total since Latitude opened, $6,566.90 has been deposited into our revenue account. And so far, we have not spent any of those funds on any special project or upgrades or things like that. That's currently just sitting in that revenue account waiting to be spent. Any questions or comments on that so far? Okay.
So generally speaking, 30,000 feet, this is working, meaning this relationship, this great relationship with Latitude is working, meaning they're making money and we're receiving money that we could use, however we choose to use, for library operations.
Yes.
Okay.
And providing another great service. I
Mhm.
think that's important.
Right.
I use it every time I'm here.
So if you recall back when we were first having the conversation about having a coffee shop in the library, I think a couple of the biggest concerns that community members had and what they brought forth is what's our water bill going to look like and what is our electric bill going to look like with a fully operational coffee shop in the library. So it was asked at the time that I compile the data so that you have that information as we're coming up on the 1-year mark so that you can see what those charges look like. So we have data going all the way back to 2019 for our water and sewer charges divided up by quarter. And as you can see, so Q1, it did increase a bit from last year, about $100. But then Q2, it decreased about $80. So it is shifting. It's certainly not an exorbitant increase like we initially maybe thought with a coffee shop. You know, we assume that there's going to be a lot of additional water usage. So we're not seeing that so far in Q1 and Q2, and it is fluctuating. Q3, it did increase last year, so that would have been September when Latitude was open, so there was an increase of about $600, but then Q4, it decreased by about $150. So there's really no clear pattern of this skyrocket increase that we can see steadily based on when the coffee shop opened.
Just kind of looking through this, it looks kind of like it's going exactly kind of how it has in the past. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like there's not really any clear indication that this year it has skyrocketed.
Correct.
Or anything
Correct.
that would indicate any increased usage.
Right, and the thing is, with the water and the electricity, electricity, we don't have a separate meter for the coffee shop, and water, it's throughout the entire building. So there's multiple factors at play other than just latitude. You know, if we have more people in the building, which we had, we would expect the water bill to go up. Electric bill, air conditioning plays a huge role in that. So when we decide to turn the air conditioning on for the building, so temperatures, things like that, it really makes a big difference. So it's hard to say with any degree of certainty, oh, this is, you know, because of latitude. There's so many factors at play.
Right.
Well, and I know,
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know that, you know, between
Over here,
water and
sir.
electricity too, right? It's all based on units of measurement.
Correct,
And then it's priced out per unit.
correct.
And that price definitely has fluctuated throughout the years. So you know, dollars and cents are good.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue, and I don't know how feasible it is to see, but I'd like to see units of measurement.
Next page.
Next page. What's interesting, seeing that Q3 is up every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? That's really interesting. So there is definitely no significance.
No, that's what I'm
not,
seeing
yeah,
too.
more or less, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is I'm not seeing any
Yeah.
significant change in the, you know, in what's going on. I mean,
Yeah, that's my impression as well.
you know,
Well, and if anything, this year for Q2, it actually decreased from last year, so,
Right,
which,
you know.
right.
yeah, that there's no correlation between.
Okay, so no correlation.
Yeah, we can't pinpoint where the water is, you know, is it the bubblers? Is it the bathrooms? You know,
Right.
where is it coming? We can't pinpoint that in the building. So it's hard to say with any degree of certainty what the, you know, what the impact of the coffee shop has on the water and sewer bill.
Well,
Sorry,
It doesn't
I'm
seem like
smiling
it's
because
much.
you used the word bubbler.
It's the correct word.
That is.
That is the correct word.
I disagree,
You,
respectfully.
some people are right, some people are
It's a
wrong.
water.
It's a bubble.
No, a water fountain is decorative. It is. All right, anyway, back, point of order.
If you are curious as to the actual gallons, on the next page, it does break it down. 2023, 2024, and 2025. You can see exactly the consumption. So that helps a little bit with actually looking at, okay, we're not looking at rate increases, anything like that, just gallons.
And the same thing on the electricity side.
Yep.
I mean, I jumped
Yep.
ahead, but, you know, I was looking at April last year to this year, and there's a significant energy decrease
Yep.
in
Right.
usage.
Yep, we had a big, we had an increase in February and an increase in January. I wouldn't say a big increase. February was only $37, January was $157. But then in March and April, we had pretty significant decreases. March, our bill went down $426. In April, it went down $1,800. So a lot of that has to do with when we turn the air conditioning on each year. We try to wait as long as possible, just because once you turn the air conditioning on, it's very difficult to get the heat system back up on if we need to. But certain years, you know, we end up turning it on very early because of the ventilation in the building. It's just not ideal. So,
Yeah, I mean, and just looking at it, at least up to this point, there's no, utility-wise, there has not been any detriment to the library by any noticeable amount. And even on the
Yeah.
electric side, the fact that we decreased on several months from the previous year when the coffee shop's been here is pretty evident that has had marginal at most effect. And I'm struggling to even see a marginal effect
Yeah.
on any of the utility costs.
Right.
Also, it's
And-
pouring.
oh, it sure is.
I do appreciate you doing this
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, this
Yes,
is
this
really
is
helpful.
really
For
helpful.
for the naysayers,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I would
And I
like this to be public that there is no monumental change like some were, trying to say was gonna happen.
Yeah, I will say, we're definitely gonna we keep track of this information anyway, so we'll definitely keep,
This is
keep
good to
track of
look
it.
at yearly, and I
Yes.
think we need to look at this yearly and the
Absolutely.
numbers and how, just to review,
Yeah,
because.
well, and we talked in our monthly meetings, Daniel and Amber and I talked about like, okay, where are we in terms of like full capacity in terms of full capacity of the cafe? And as it continues to grow, then maybe we will start seeing impacts, but time will tell really with that in terms of if they do more business, maybe there'll be an impact, but we'll just have to keep track of it and correlate it with the amount of revenue that we're getting each month to see if there is a correlation between the amount of business that they're doing and these charges.
The only thing is then we will also have to, trying to think, because if you have increased customers in the library,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
I think we would need to see a significant difference.
This first year is to me what was gonna be a little bit more of a telltale.
Sure.
Because from here on out, we would actually have to go, okay, what's the number of people now coming in?
Right.
How many people are using the restroom? How many people?
And that continues to grow as well. So like
Right.
on my monthly report, our trends are, I think, just exponentially increasing for the amount of people in our library. So, like I said, if they were on their own meter, things like that, that would be so cut and dry easy, but this is a big building with a lot of things going on, so.
It's,
I think I would have expected even to see a little bit more of an
Well,
impact, but it
right.
doesn't seem.
That's what I was
to be
expecting as
anything.
well. I was looking at the electricity going, okay, marginal, a little bit increase, whatever, we were
Yeah,
kind of looking to
something.
absorb that, but now it's like, well, no, and pleasantly surprised by that. I really am.
That is a nice
So-
surprise.
And then, so for a lot of our new board members who weren't here during the collaboration timeline, I put together a timeline of basically everything that has happened since September of 2023, when the library board approved that we start looking into the idea of a coffee partnership through the ad hoc committee, and all of the collaboration that we've had since. Any significant milestones such as plumbing permits, things like that. I've been compiling all this information, any sort of collaboration between library staff and Latitude for promotional things. I know another concern that was brought up during a lot of the ad hoc coffee shop committee meetings was staff time and what that is going to look like. And I lost track of how much staff time. It was very difficult to keep track after a while. I tried for my own records at the start, but then it just sort of fell off. So I guess you're going to get more of the qualitative evidence versus quantitative on here. So lots of stuff happening with the coffee shop. I have a meeting with Daniel and Amber on Friday. We're gonna discuss the proposal for the electronic sign in person. So we have that scheduled. We scheduled that last week. In September of 2024, we did make an agreement that we would meet about things like this in person. So that was the plan, was to go over things in person, look at their location space, and go from there. I have not declined their request for the electronic sign, so we'll go from there.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, this is very thorough, very helpful.
If it starts to hail, please let me know. 'Cause I just got a car I purchased and I'll pull it under the
I
overpass.
think it.
The first day, I don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can really do
I
that.
think maybe you'd be more out of.
You have good
you know,
insurance, right?
courtesy, so we know.
That's all you need.
On a side note, though, I just saw that you recommended them doing the coffee with a cop here, and I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
That-
Oh, yeah.
That draws a different group of
It's a
people.
perfect spot for it too. I mean, it's a public place, people should feel comfortable coming here. I think it would be a great idea.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
No, not yet.
So hopefully they're able to make something work. So Gino was gonna talk to his team and see if that, they could get that on the schedule, which would be awesome.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right. Next, we have the Latitude Cafe update with Daniel and Amber.
All right, hello, everybody. I'm gonna make it
Oh,
short
could
because
you- Could you move the microphone?
Oh, gosh, yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna make it short because you guys wanna go at 7 o'clock, and me too. It's been a long day. We've been around for 10 months. Jackie already covered it. The accurate total, including what's going on this month, is $68,000, $869.99 of gross sales. We have gave the village $602.86 discounts. Village, I mean all employees, library, village personnel, everybody that has a badge that can walk into the thing. That's mean we made sales of $1,200, which $600 were discounted, which will equal 50%. Don't you worry, the library is not losing that revenue out of that $1,600. That's still considered as revenue. So when we write the check, regardless of the discounts we give, that discount, 10%, is still going to the library. So even if we didn't collect that money, it's part of our agreement to give you out of the gross, and even discount considered out of gross revenue. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so there is no loss for the library. It's just a service we provide. We have sold $1,144.26 gift cards. Gift cards are not assessed in money back to the library because all it means that they give us money, we load it up on a card, and they can use it until the sale actually transpired. Then you will get the 10%. So that's money that is additional to that gross sales. That is not used yet by different customers that bought those gift cards because it's just an exchange of money. A digital card for cash money or whatever they do.
Guaranteed sales in the future.
Yes.
So that makes sense. So that way you're not adding it in twice.
Right.
Right.
There is no sale. All they did is just give me money and I give them money back.
Right.
So for future promise that they're gonna come and buy stuff. We had 8,907 orders in total. And those are individual orders, means they can be also considered 3 or 4 or 5 people at one order. But people that actually interacted with the point of sale was almost 9,000 people. But you know, they usually come with another person with 3 kids, whatever. So we probably look at traffic of over 20,000 people coming to that space in 10 months. Is it enough? No. What we're doing to entice people to come through the door, We issue gift baskets, 2 of them every month, and a value of over $50 per basket, which will include cups, coffee, tea, free coffee card, bookmark that has the 10 punches, we try to help them out. We also giving them the bookmark with the punches that gives them every 10 drinks for free, of their choice. It doesn't matter what size, what type, and how expensive it is. So they do transaction, and the 11th one is free for them. Make sense? Mm-hmm. We also, through the front circulation desk, correct me if I'm wrong, they do give those bookmarks. We issued the library over 250 10% coupons for John, for what is the program
The
name?
Adult Summer Library Program prizes.
So we start seeing them coming back to us, so that entice people to come in. It's not a big discount, but it's 10%. And it's something to bring them up to the second floor. 50% to the village employees, of all village employees. We said that we'll review it after a month or so, but we decided to stay with it. The exposure is important to us more than the actual revenue for that loss. And again, the library does not suffer from that end results. Make sense? Mm-hmm. We upgraded our QR codes. We have table tents that Jackie authorized to put throughout the library, second and first floor. We had an hiccup with the QR codes in the middle when our point of sale people upgraded the system and decided to eliminate the QR code they issued us for before the upgrade, and we kind of could not figure out why, when people are scanning them, although Jackie says, hey, there is an issue with them, why it doesn't send them to online ordering. We figured it out. We had to generate a whole brand new one and upgrade all the table tents all throughout the library. So that is solved. It took a little bit. We have online ordering to our point of sale that leads to the library dedicated line. We did first floor samples. That's when we came down. We have a little cart again that Jackie authorized to park in front by the vestibule and just give people free samples. We did it a couple of times. Good success. People are kind of, more receptive for it. And I'm not sure how it translates for them coming to the second floor, but it's an introduction. There was nothing else. We have the welcome banner that we put in the first floor in the vestibule that kind of send people to the second floor because the sign over the staircase is not really evident or obvious. Most of those experiments that happen anywhere else, the coffee shop sits in the front floor, in the entrance, Target, whatever, how it works. So people that comes in capture what they want and get lost in the space of whatever else they came for. Our challenge is to bring the 50% that refuse to come to the second floor up to the floor, to the second floor, to the back end to find latitude. That's the challenge that we were experiencing in the last 10 months. We try to come with creative solution like I went through, everything else that we just went through now. Are they always right? Am I correct all the time? Absolutely not. But I have to try. I have to come with creative ways to make this happen because it's not just organically will happen. You have to, if this doesn't work or you're not getting the right response or it's not enough, we need to figure out what happened and because capacity, we talked about capacity of 30 to 40% of the space of ability to function. It can bring so much more. And when we talked about increasing utilities, because that's happened, well, it's also going to increase the revenue. So revenue is a direct result of your increase of utility or not. or even the lowering of utility. If people don't frequent the space is not doing anything. If the space is idle, it's not spending money. The lights are still on, the air conditioning is still on, regardless if we're there or not. But we're not pulling anything except idling and waiting for something to happen. So yes, I wanted to increase in business, and if the water goes up and electricity goes up, that's fine. The revenue will go up too, and I think a lot higher than what it's going to cost us to run business. So I think the library will enjoy that. We are present on Clover, which is, again, the library has a dedicated offshoot. Clover is a point of sale system that, every time somebody goes on the library and click in order online, that sends them directly to our menu and everything else to make sure there is a clear separation between the Germantown location, and we're present on Google with that. The library has its own Google, and Latitude Germantown has its own on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All the mainstream vehicles. Our baristas have a lot of fun with it. They make a lot of videos, and they just gets creative with everything else. That's it for an update of the space. We meet with Jackie on a monthly basis. We disagree, we agree, we laugh, we cry. We're mad, we're not, it works out. It's not a big deal. Sometimes we get stuck, and this is why I decided to bring it out in front of the library board. I gave you an overview not to waste your time. We wanted to replace this sign with this sign in the same spot, not an additional sign. That helps us to send multiple messages all at the same time, rotating, that it's easier to capture that first floor. That first floor, it's our Achilles heel. And it's because it's very hard to tap into it unless you start transmitting and aggressive with it. And yes, that means that we have present in the first floor that was not planned to when we visioned Latitude upstairs. Nobody thought that. I didn't think that either, but the reality that it's a necessary something that we have to aggressively pursue in concert with the library people, not stepping over them, and making sure that we are tapping to that 50% that refuses to go up to the second floor, and if it means more pictures, more promotions, more stuff, sure. We're willing to give all of that up, but we don't know how to convey it to that demographic that stays on the first floor. So we want to try something new. So we use digital screens in Germantown. They work. We can transmit a lot of messages, of specialty drinks, of, welcome to the library. Do you know that 10% goes back of all, of gross revenue goes back to the library? Stuff like this that we rotates, that just get ingrained in people's psyche, and they start acting on it eventually. Oh, I'm hungry. I didn't know they're doing lunch in here. Well, we're going to talk about lunch. We're going to talk about specialty drink. We're going to talk about, special event. We're going to talk about when we are open to the public, What's our time? Because it's not just on our door. It will say it in here, our time that we open, We're going to welcome people just because we can, We're going to tell them, come check out the library, We're not, so what I'm trying to do, instead of going to my printer and generating 20 signs that's saying all of that, and I got to replace, I have one message, and until I replace it, I get nothing else. I want to be able to go on my phone and says, I'm going to run this program right now, and I've got 20 slides, and tomorrow I can run another 20 slides that are completely different, of everything we do, you know, just introducing and capturing that first floor. We got into a couple of sticky, you know, there is no plug where this thing needs to go. You know, we're trying to contemplate what's gonna take to do. And there was some pushback or not, and you know, of what needs to be done. You know, I know that the library is going through remodeling next year. Is this gonna be still something that will be viable next year? But it's portable, it sits on 4 wheels. It can move to anywhere it needs to go. You know, we have to have a present on the first floor. That's my opinion. Everybody can say, if you guys say no, I can do nothing about it. I would live in my 300 square foot space, and when you guys say why it's not increasing, I said because I cannot talk to anybody on the first floor.
I like it, and there's the pole there, I already looked at it with the outlet. To me, that's where it should be. It shouldn't be in the vestibule, it's just my opinion, I'm throwing it out there. But that way people, once they're in, they're actually looking and seeing stuff. So there's already an outlet there. We just have a couple random things sitting there. That's my opinion on it. I
So-
read everything, I looked into it ahead of time, so I'm just jumping right into
I
it.
gave you some photos of some opinions. Again, Jackie's great. We agree on 99% of the time, and sometimes we don't. You know, I don't think, you know, when we start pushing against each other that it needs to get to that. It's just, let's give it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that can overlook it and make a decision, yes or not. And if you say it's all Jackie, amen to that. It can be all Jackie. I just need a clear path of this is what I want to do, and you guys can make a
Is there a reason you
decision.
don't want it in that spot, or?
So we have a meeting scheduled for Friday to talk about this. And yes, I did want to talk about the concerns in person because we agreed we were going to talk about things like this in person. But we are completely we're working with a designer right now to completely redo the vestibule. So in looking at electronic signage and looking at different ways to market, we are going away with the floor mounted signage and going more with the wall mounted signage because it's easier when we're moving things around, you don't have to worry about that. It's also best for ADA compliance to have as much wall mounted signage as possible, just so that wheelchairs, walkers, things like that can get around things easier. In the email that Daniel sent on Friday, he said that that sign and that sign have the exact same footprint. They do not. The bottom of the electronic sign is 16.3 inches deep, and the banner sign is 8 inches deep. We have a door that opens up right into that. I don't think that it will fit, and I think that their electronic sign would get hit. So
In the vestibule, you mean?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we would have to run an outlet
Yeah.
when we're completely redoing that area, fingers crossed, in
I think by the
2026.
pole is better
I was
anyways.
gonna say,
Right, that's what I was thinking.
I'm looking at this location
Mm-hmm.
That
as
just makes,
That, to me,
thinking
looks
it makes more sense. There's already a pre-existing outlet. If you're looking at,
Which, right, we did talk about inside the lobby locations when we first had the discussion with the banner sign, and we decided that the vestibule would be a better location because we have so many things that we're constantly moving around in that lobby area that it would make most sense to have it in the vestibule. Because of that, we have tax forms that go up. We have children's events where we bring tables out to the lobby. So we're trying to minimize the amount of floor-mounted things in that lobby location to keep it light, to keep it flexible, to keep it movable. So that's the reason why we weren't going to have any sort of signage there.
I mean, I think that's a little different with it being on wheels, because it would be able to be moved really
Yeah.
easy.
I was gonna say, as long as, you know, if all you need to do is just wheel it out of the way a little bit, if you need to work past it, I get the feeling we're making a mountain out of a molehill a little bit here. If there's already an outlet here, and I mean, that is not a giant footprint by any means.
And it looks nice.
And it
Yeah,
looks,
it does look
and it
really
looks nice. I
And-
don't see any reason why it couldn't go in a place where we don't already have to run electric. If you're worried about having to redo the vestibule, that's fine. This is not necessarily gonna cause any issues. If it needs to be moved around, or if we need to relook at the location because of some remodel we're looking at doing, I would actually prefer us to incorporate it into what we're doing, because it needs to be a part of what we're doing.
Right. Yes,
So-
I agree. It's just this particular style of sign we're shying away from, and we would have preferred more of a mounted sign on that pole so that we don't have to move things around when we change things so often, and also for sight lines, which
We can do
remain.
that down the road. I don't think they're opposed to, you know, if there's
Well-
something really great that comes up down the road, then we can.
Yeah.
Who is we, Jackie?
I'm sorry,
Who is we?
in terms of which part?
Well, you keep referring to we are going away from this. We don't want to do this.
We are going
Who
away.
is we?
We as the library, when we're working on upgrading all of our spaces, you see that like we don't have a floor mounted sign in the children's library, we have one mounted on the pillar. So collectively, we are moving away from that. Working with the designers on the plans for the rest of the first floor, we don't have any floor mounted signs, they're all wall mounted signs, overhead signage. We have had electronic signs floor mounted in the past, but it's very difficult to work around things when we do move things so often. And I understand it is on wheels, but again, these are all conversations that I was planning on having with Latitude on Friday. So I guess I don't understand why it had to escalate to the library board before we even had a chance to meet. I guess maybe you could shed some insight on that, Daniel.
Because we had, not me, I had 13 emails regarding an outlet. It's like, I need that present on the first floor, and we cannot wait for 2026 because we are keep losing momentum every time we go forward. You know, this was a good start, but you know, the printer needs to make 20 more of them, and we got to change them every week. And maybe that's the solution. I think this is a better solution. It's the ability to control the message, the ability to choose a lot more. You know, there is no issues with pixels, and there is no issue with presentation. There is a program that organizes it very well and displays it in high resolution. So, you know, we need to have a present. I need to have a present in the first floor. That was not factored when we started this conversation in the beginning, because I didn't know anything about being inside the library on a second floor, tucked in all the way in a corner. You know, your customers, the people of Menomonee Falls that walks in, don't have enough information about even us being on top there, you know. How many times, oh, I didn't know there is a coffee shop in here. I didn't know that you make food. I didn't know this. I didn't know. It's like we need a message board that talks about it in the first floor, you know. And I cannot assume that I'm able to go in, attach my own TV on your pillar permanently, and decide that, you know, I'm taking that space. I'm a guest in here, and I created a solution that is not permanent, and it's still presentful, and it does the job. And if it needs to move to another pillar, or because you know, then it moves, and it's easy to do. And if in 2026 your architect or whatever comes in with great solution and a screen we can use that is wall mounted, I'm in. You know, I'll take this down and park it in my basement, and it will be the relic of the past. But until then, I gotta build on the momentum. Otherwise, what are we doing in there? I mean, is that revenue that this makes at 30-40%, is that enough? Maybe for the library, not for me as a business owner.
I have a question. Is it interactive? Like, can customers interact with it, like order on it or anything?
Nope,
Or is it
it's just an
signs?
information sign.
Okay.
It's does what this does, just, 20 images if I want to rotating. Because you're sitting in here, we just picked up 4 or 5 and we uploaded it. It took us 5 minutes. It's easy, new drinks, new promotion, fall drinks, summer drinks, things to, people shop with their eyes, anywhere you go in retail space that feeds people, it's all about pictures. And so, oh, I didn't know they have smoothies in here. Oh, I didn't know. I cannot convey it if I'm not at the library or I'm just sitting at the 300 square foot up in a corner on the second floor.
And have we talked about possibly having a kiosk on the main level so that people could come in?
I
Put in an order?
would like that too, but
Put in
that's
an order and then go do
that
their thing and,
we have that too, but that's that's
When
another.
we came across this kind of block, we figured not even ask about that because we have considered it.
I
It
like the
might
idea
be
of it.
easier.
No,
So
put
they
the
can go
That's why I
up, look
asked
at the
about the
pictures,
functionality.
choose, and then they can place the order, and then when they're ready within the 20 minutes or whatever time they want, can go up to the top floor, get it, and it's
Yeah,
ready.
you can pass it along. This is an ordering kiosk.
But
We
didn't
thought
wanna-
about to put one on the first floor
We didn't wanna
because
present that right now
because not everybody loves QR code. Most of the people that walks here are older, and they can order food right there like they would sit in a restaurant. They push, they see the pictures, they see exactly what's
But
going
then
on.
the question comes in again.
Floor
can't move
space.
it, floor space, ADA. So once we came across this concern, that's when we just kind of didn't even.
We we cannot push everything we want.
Oh, yeah, this Tigger.
So would that be in
That's it
addition to that, or an
That was
alternative?
a whole
Oh,
other
a completely
idea.
different
That was
thing,
just the
okay.
idea.
Did you purchase this just for the vestibule, or did you have it already?
No, we have it. We have 2 of them,
Oh, so you already owned this?
we own them.
Okay.
And we have the
so are
kiosks
you thinking
too.
this instead?
No, this is just an order kiosk on the first floor.
Oh.
That's a connection to the second floor for somebody that want to order without pushing, that doesn't know QR codes.
It's your opinion
You
as
know.
well, right? I mean, if you guys look at it overall.
I'm not
this
asking
or
for this
that,
right now. This is
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
but-
an opinion, it looks very similar to what they do for your books. When they bring them in, you have the kiosk,
The self-checks?
same
Yeah.
thing. You go in, you touch screen it,
And that
it
could
brings
be
the
a
menu,
tabletop.
and it's gonna be on a tabletop, and you can say dine in, that's what I
like that
want.
idea down the road.
I
And
do too.
somebody gets there ready.
So I think, if I may, I think there's 2 issues here. I think the first issue is, I don't think that Daniel and Amber necessarily agree with the concerns that I express about the sign in the vestibule area. I don't think that they necessarily agree with the concerns that I stated in that email. I think that's one issue, which I hope that we can resolve by meeting in person, because I don't think, and I think we've determined that in the past, Daniel, that email is not necessarily the best communication method between us. I think the other issue is that there seems to be a understanding, and you forwarded me the email that you sent the village manager, Nicole, and Ann back in October last year, talking about my agenda or certain things like that. And I know we've had conversations about that in the past, about the concerns that you have that possibly I'm not in support of the coffee shop. And correct me if I'm misconstruing the concerns that we've discussed. Like in the meetings we've talked about, is information getting leaked to the community, things like that. No, that's definitely not happening. And I think it's been made even more evident with the library board having one of my performance goals being that I need to help get the revenue that the libraries bringing in each month from Latitude up to $1,000 a month, so a 40% increase. So I think it's very clear that not only I personally am in support of the coffee shop, you can see all of the things in the report that the library staff and I have done to support the coffee shop, but I feel like we continuously go back to the fact that it's as if you think that I'm not championing you, sorry. When I've told you, I've defended you guys when you're not even in the room. So I don't know, we need to clearly move past that. And we need to continue to work together collaboratively. And I wish that when I bring up concerns, that you would be open to listening to them and understanding them. Just as when you bring up concerns, I am also open to listening and understanding them, but I prefer to meet in person so we can actually look at the space, talk about the space, just like we decided when you guys put the banner out that, yeah, we definitely just need to meet up and talk about it. So I think there's two separate issues there.
Well,
If I could just jump in, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And I apologize for
No,
interrupting.
fine.
I think some of all of the comments from everybody have been good. I don't think this is agendized for a vote today for anything, is that correct? All right.
Correct.
So, I mean, perhaps, and this is just a suggestion, have your meeting that's scheduled, and if we need to agendize something in some sort of expedited meeting, we can do that as well. You know, if we need to schedule a special meeting for a vote or something like that, I mean, but I think the comments are good and from everybody, but in terms of our role to vote on this, it doesn't exist today.
Correct.
So I think Latitude is great. I think your involvement in the community is wonderful. The school district is thankful for our relationship, and it's been very good and great, actually. And I know that I want that to continue, and we as a board want that to continue going forward, if at all possible. So, is there any more with this?
Does the board need to vote that it's okay to put that sign where they want to put it? I think that's more of a director, and all we would be doing is giving her guidance and advice on this.
Right. I'm just saying we're not agendized to
Right.
vote on it.
So
I'm not saying I wouldn't vote on it.
per
I'm just
the
saying we're not
contract,
agendized to vote.
yeah, per the contract, any additional signage goes to me.
Right.
Certainly, as I've told Daniel and Amber, if they have an issue with any decision I make, they're welcome to talk to you guys
Right.
about that and potentially appeal it. But the way that the contract is written is that any additional signage within the library or outside the library, that would have to go through Mark Fitzgerald as well. And that makes sense, in my opinion, because I am in control of all of the other directional, wayfinding signage, promotional signage in the building. That falls under my authority as the library director.
So has Mr. Fitzgerald been involved in this yet?
Not with the interior signage, no.
Okay.
To the best of my knowledge,
But Mr. Fitzgerald also said that if there is an impasse between us and the board, which we send the email, Jackie has it, if she wants to forward it to you, he says, take it to the board, have them veto it, vote on it, do whatever, you know, to figure out a solution. That was his advice at the time that we brought to him. He says, it's not stuck, you know, if Jackie doesn't like what you hear, or you don't like what you hear from Jackie, take it to the board, and they can veto it or not, or just says, hey, Jackie is completely right, and we're standing behind her. I'm not asking you to go against Jackie. I'm not asking you to champion her either. This is my issue, you know, get me a solution or not, and that's fine, and we'll keep doing what we're doing.
My position, I think, is that if we put it on the column, but,
We put it what?
like, so do you have the,
Yep, I got it.
okay, so if you look on the right here.
Uh-huh.
I would say to put it there, there's already an outlet there, it's not an extra expense, it's on wheels, it can move. And it's still, 2026 is still
And it's short term.
a while away. When we do redo that area, then we can maybe talk about, different signage or however they wanna handle things then, but I think right now, that's a good idea.
I think in the meeting we'll go over it more, because I know within the past months that we've been here, I have seen you use that space. I know you're always changing the stroller space, I know you're always that's what you do, and you're good at it. You always revamp the space, and you're always keeping it fresh. It's exactly what we do at Germantown, so I understand that. So again, Friday's meeting, if we can come to some kind of conclusion, again, I think ultimately it just really comes down to, this gets stale. It's white noise.
Yeah, is that the old QR code that doesn't
Probably.
work?
No,
Yeah.
that works.
Oh, that one works.
Okay, I stand
Okay,
corrected.
great.
But
That's an
it's
extra
white
cost, too.
noise in it. It is always changing. It's just white noise. So again, Friday in our meeting,
Right,
different spaces that might work or whoever.
sure.
And, yeah, I don't, I mean,
So-
delegate that to you, but personally, I agree, I like the change in the signage.
Yeah, I said initially it's a good idea, we
Yeah.
just don't have the
I
outlet
think-
there.
So all I would say is just, I guess on Friday, you guys need to find
Right,
out
yeah.
Exactly.
a solution that you both agree on and where it could go on the first floor to attract people upstairs.
And if at your
That's
meeting you
fine.
guys still can't reach an agreement, then we'll put it on for a vote for next month. So,
What I would ask is if that does come to it, I'd like to see, like, if you're gonna give us this picture, show me what it looks like with that in it. If you guys can't come to an agreement, show me what it looks like, so that way, otherwise, we're gonna walk out there with it. And, cause I'm a visual person,
Right.
and, that's the only thing I would ask for, but I think, I think everything at this point kinda needs to be tabled until you guys have your discussion on Friday, and then, if it needs to come back to us, we go from there.
right. I will ask too, since you guys are here and we are having, an upcoming, we're gonna be looking again at the agreements coming up, since it's coming up on a year. If you guys had any suggestions that you wanted to add or take out of the agreement, that maybe we could, we could have some stuff to think about over the next month.
I would like to move the monthly meeting with the board.
Instead of Jackie?
I mean, if Jackie wants to talk to us, she can talk to us at any time. I'm always, I'll be with Jackie's office 4 times a week if she needs anything.
Okay.
So it's not instead of Jackie, but the monthly meeting with the board. Short, not taking all your time, just giving the
We had
stats. Jackie
talked
can
about
give,
that. Yeah.
Jackie can give the stats like she did right now, and I can give a short stats, and they'll be over for that compliance issue. And, if we need to do anything that, that needs to be getting to them, we'll submit it in writing to the board a month before, and the board can, then all the people of the board can make that decision of yes or nay for those. And Jackie can, will provide that same request to Jackie, so she has a whole month to think about it, to say, yes, it makes a good idea, this is not making a good idea. But then in the end of the day, the board will make the decision. And that's why I would like changing the contract, because I think that it builds up unnecessary, conflict that, one person, it's 50-50. It's by default built in to have a conflict built into it, unless one of us, I want something, I'm putting 50% into it. Jackie wants something, she's putting 50%, we're in impasse by default. We have to have at least a third person interject to that. Here, the both of us, so that's what I'm saying, the board is already there, we don't have to add anybody to it. But that, again, that's contractually, when that time comes to be assessed, that's the only really thing that I'm thinking about changing is more years and more decision makers voting on the issues. And if there is no issues, we won't bring them to you, For the most part, We had asked for nothing in this year for to doing anything, you know. We wanted this banner. We stay in our 300 square foot. We are compliant with everything that Jackie wants. If we make something wrong and there is an issue, we listen, we try to fix it. But you know, for the most part, we've done no changes since we started. Change is necessary if you guys wanna see that 1,000 a month revenue or even more. Why stop at 1,000? You know, we're at 30-40%. When you do, you know, 80-90%, when you know you can look at 1,500, 2,000 a month. You know, but I can't get you there if you're not gonna allow me to live in that space downstairs to capture those people. You know,
If
so I
Think
want.
of anything else, just email us too. You can shoot us an email and
Mm-hmm.
Right, you know,
Yes,
but
I just
again, I don't
some
want,
Ideas for.
I don't want Jackie thinking that we're running around her. I just want to say, let's change the path of how we come to decisions. You know, that again, there is not a 50-50 tie, that there is more people around us that can consider. And you guys are all smart, they're all running good jobs and good positions in the community, Jackie included, and all of, you know, so put more heads into it and come to a quick decision. You know, in the end of the day, you guys all have the library in your best intention, you know, and I think I do too. So, but what we're doing right now is not tapping to the potential that you entrusted with us, and we can do it all from the second floor.
And I also think, I mentioned that too, like external marketing, so not just targeting the regular patrons of the library, but the external marketing and having a presence online. So we talked about things like updating the website, updating the Facebook page to show that this location exists, you know, maybe doing some targeted marketing, talking about this location specifically on social media, I think would be really beneficial as well.
Right, and you are correct, and we went through a list of everything we do outside of here, but in the end of the day, nobody goes to Starbucks at Target unless they need to go to Target. So that's really the correlation. Nobody comes here to go to Latitude, they come to see the library. Latitude is a service the library offers to their petitioners. So this is not, you know, a drive-through place, convenient. There is nothing convenient in here unless you are coming to the library to use the library services and enjoying something no other library offers around us, you know, for the most part, very little. So outside marketing, you know, is great, but we are geared all to serve your customers that walks in here with library cards and hang out in here all day. And you know, instead of them leaving and going to get their drinks and their food, or calling even outside delivery to get it because they're hungry. So we are not tapping to 50% of the people in here because they're, again, stuck in the first floor. So thinking, what are we doing wrong? Why can we not get more people? Well, first we start in the sandbox we're working and not outside of it, because we are not leveraging the potential of what's already here. You know, and we are thinking to supplement it from people from outside. So I think people from the outside is the school district that wants to do events in here and gets catering from us, which you tap into that revenue, you know. The police department's coming to have meetings in here and asking for us to cater it. That's people from outside, people that know that we're here and wants to use your space for that, but not, again, none of my customers says I'm going to the library just to see Latitude. When they are here, they're tapping into your conference rooms, they're coming here to spend and work, and Latitude is just something they enjoy to have because, again, most libraries don't have it.
Well, in the meeting, we had a marketing meeting with Scott from the library board because of his background in marketing. And one of the suggestions that Scott had, and we kind of talked about, was advertising this location as a coffee shop alternative, something more quiet, something that is a little bit different from anything else that you may find. You know, we have our study rooms, things like that. So I think that's a great idea. I think it's an awesome advertising idea. But I guess, is that something that we should be doing or you guys are gonna be doing? Because I do think that the social media posts, you know, could reflect this location more, just for maybe some of your current customers at the Germantown location having interest in coming here. I
So
do think.
have a lot of like my paperwork, the stuff that you provided.
Yeah.
I actually put that on display. I have it
Yeah.
hanging up. I feel kind of bad because I don't even have Germantown hanging up, and that's the community that I'm in. And our gift baskets that we give out for Germantown specifically, I put all the paperwork for library here, I think the Libby stuff, information that you put. I
Nice.
put all of that in there to make
Awesome.
sure, because the family's gonna receive that gift basket.
Right.
And they're gonna be able to say, hey, did you know?
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of that. I'm updating their websites to make sure that we have the falls
Sure.
and Germantown.
Awesome.
So I'm working on all
Good.
of that as well. Obviously, it
Awesome.
takes time.
Sure.
And I've been studying for exams and stuff, so it's kind of in a work in progress.
Okay.
My employees are doing a lot of their TikToks. Your daughter was in one of them, and so that's going to be highly promoted as well. So that is a big thing in works as well.
But
Sounds
we
like
have
a-
to tap to what's here.
Right.
Yeah.
So just circling back, I did.
I'm sorry, I think we need to do a separate meeting. Like I think the
Right.
piece we were gonna talk about tonight, we've
Right.
talked about. I think
Right.
we've given
Exactly.
feedback.
Yeah.
We're here to support everyone. We all want this.
Right.
We
Right.
all want this.
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think it's getting a little too.
I think you
much.
should
We need
hold
to
your
come
meeting
back.
and-
We're getting off at this,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
Hold your
agree.
meeting and let's move on with the agenda.
Yeah, I agree.
Is what I would like to do.
Okay.
So,
yeah, and we've talked about too, we could, like we talked about in the past, we could even do a separate coffee shop meeting, committee again, so we can do all that.
Yeah.
Like, to help get this going for everybody.
Thank you for your time. Sorry.
thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, we appreciate, I mean.
Thank you, guys.
I think it's a great thing, so.
All right. Next, we have the Policy Review Committee reports. So we just met actually right before this meeting, and we discussed the donations and gifts policy and the Maud-Chunk Local History Special Collections Management policies, which will be coming to the board for a vote. Otherwise, that's all for updates for that one. The Special Projects Outreach and Fundraising Committee still doesn't have a chair. We will do
Correct.
that next month.
Okay, let me
send
know,
you-
yeah, send me an
We vote
email
on
about
next
that.
month? Or we?
I'm gonna appoint,
Okay.
yes.
Or- yeah.
And then Finance Committee.
Finance committee meets tomorrow. So we'll have more to talk about at the next meeting. But our next finance committee meeting is tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Perfect. Next, discuss and consider for approval the amendment to policy 2.01, library card eligibility.
So this one didn't actually make it to the policy review committee just because I don't think that it needs any discussion. So if you look at the policy, there are multiple different types of cards available. There's the library card, which is free, and it gives you access to everything you would expect a library card. There's the resource card, and so that is geared towards people who are not eligible for checking out physical materials. Mostly it's due to those who reside in Milwaukee County who don't want to pay the $75 a year to have a regular library card, or those who live in the village of Germantown who are not eligible for a regular library card unless they work in the falls, go to school in the falls, things like that. So there is one oversight under that resource card access. So currently, anybody with a resource card, they cannot check out physical materials at the library. That's the restriction of the resource card. They can get on the computers, they can use the meeting rooms, they can use the tools in the maker space, but they just can't check out those physical materials. But currently the policy says, and it is actually in action, that they can use Libby, so that they can check out e-materials on Libby. So essentially, those people could be going to their library, getting a library card, coming here, getting a library card, just to have double the amount of holds and checkouts on Libby. So if they are not able to check out physical materials, they shouldn't be able to check out e-materials from our library, because we are paying for those, and those are geared towards our residents and regular library card holders. So that's the only change.
Motion to approve the amendment to policy 2.01 library card eligibility.
Second.
As permitted, yeah, thank you.
Any discussion?
No, I think that singular change actually makes a ton of sense.
Yep.
So,
All in favor of approving policy 2.01, library card eligibility, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next, we have nominations for Library Board Office of President for the term July 2026 to June 2027.
I nominate Nicole Barker.
I was
Second.
nominated last time, so.
Or do you say so? Maybe not, unless we just do the vote right away.
Are there any other nominations?
Not so far.
No more tonight? All right.
All right.
Now we go to the election, so the vote.
All right. All in favor of electing Nicole Barker as president for the term July 2026 to June 2027?
Wait, we need a motion to,
I'll make a motion for the election of Nicole Barker as library board office of president for the term July 26th to June of 2027.
Second.
All in favor?
So this is,
Aye.
sorry. This is for not this year, but the following year,
No,
This coming year,
2026.
starting now.
2025, 26.
She said 26, 27.
oh, yeah.
It's
written wrong.
20,
Sorry, it's
it's
written in here
25, 20.
It should be 2025, 26.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
I
good.
thought
I'm
that's
glad I
right.
was. I'm thinking, is it 2026 and I'm just
Sorry.
delusional?
You
Okay.
did.
Said it, yeah.
Thank
You
you.
said it correctly. It's just written wrong.
All right.
All right, so
I vote for the 25, 26 year. Yeah, aye.
Okay. All right, next we have the nominations for the Library Board Office of Secretary Treasurer for the term July 2025 to July 2026.
I nominate Tommy Ewig.
I
Do we have to
accept-
second that?
Yeah, I think, I accepted in
second
the
it.
last meeting.
No,
Yeah,
don't
we
need a
did.
second, and he
We
was
did.
already nominated.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I
perfect.
just need to check if there's any other nominations, which I don't believe there are.
Nope,
Is anyone begging?
no. All
Maybe
right,
next.
All right, motion.
then we need I need a motion for.
I'll make a motion for the election
There we
of
go.
I'll second
Tommy
it.
Ewig as the library board office secretary treasurer for the term of July of 2025 to June of 2026.
I'll
Second.
second, or you can have it, Aim. That's-
All in favor of electing Tom Ewig as Secretary Treasurer for the term July 2025 to June 2026?
Aye.
Say
Aye.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Unanimous.
you both have done a great job.
Thank you. Next, we got discuss and consider for approval the 2025-2026 Library Board meeting dates.
Mm.
I don't,
So,
You're here.
this one, we were not sure which one we were gonna be able to do, because, Falls Cable Access is going to be out of town. So we're leaning towards the 13th if possible, so that the meeting can still be streamed.
Which one?
okay.
So that would be a change from our
Oh,
regular
gotcha, okay.
third Wednesday. It would be the second Wednesday.
I need a motion to approve the 2025-2026 Library Board meeting dates.
What's the new date?
13th,
It should be in the packet.
Yeah, I didn't.
yeah, there's 3 different
I'd have
options.
to pick it up.
The 13th would be for August instead of the 20th.
I will try and make it here. I'll be flying back in, so we'll see what happens. Depends on my flights.
Okay. Does anyone else have any conflicts that,
Should be fine.
Should be okay,
okay.
depending on district committee meetings, but if there's a policy committee meeting for the district, I will not be able to be here.
Okay.
Would the
'Cause I
20,
run-
would the
I-
28th work better than the 13th?
We're setting our policy committee meetings for the year on Thursday, so it's probably okay, you know,
Okay.
it's probably okay.
The 28th is also out for Falls Cable Access though, so,
Oh,
yeah,
so it
yeah.
was the 20th?
Yeah.
The 13th,
So
okay.
it's the
we'll just
13th to the
do
13th.
Yes.
then.
Like, we have committee meetings tonight, but I have other directors running them. The policy committee meeting I run myself, so, but it should be okay.
Okay. Any other dates that anyone is concerned about? And notice also in February, it is not the third Wednesday of the month, it is actually the 4th.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's because of
Mhm.
the annual report, same issues as last year.
Correct. All right, all in favor of approving the 20?
Oh, I move to
Oh, right,
approve
that's
the
right, I did
dates
say
as
I need a
listed
motion.
for the meetings for the 2025-2026 calendar year.
Second.
And I just have a comment. Thanks to Falls Cable Access for always being available and excellent. You guys are awesome, always awesome. So great resource in our community, not just for the library board, but for the school district. You guys are awesome. So thank you.
Village and
Agreed.
everything.
Yeah, the village, everything.
All right, all in favor of approving the 2025-2026 library board meeting dates, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion is passed. Next is the trustee education, developing essential library policies.
Yes, so the Policy Review Committee knows this quite well. I think you know this chapter by heart. So just running through a few things, talking about how Wisconsin state statutes authorize the library board to establish external policies, so how the library serves the public, and also internal policies, so anything that would govern board operations and also library management, human resources policies, things along those lines. So that is a state statute authorization. Then it goes through some really great policy development steps. So, and again, the Policy Review Committee knows this quite well. So first, the director and any key staff or staff committees provide input and then develop recommended policies or changes to policies. Then we meet in the Policy Review Committee and talk through the minutia and details of those changes. Then it comes to the board to discuss and revise if necessary anything to those policies and approve them. Then it goes back to me to make sure that both the staff and the public are aware of the policies. And it talks about how the board reviews policies on a regular cycle. So we follow the 3-year cycle unless something comes up like this library card policy where we need to change it earlier. So we do communicate it to the policies to the public in many ways. So all of our policies are on our website. Paper copies are available at our service desks. And then relevant policies are posted throughout the library, such as our code of conduct, our safe child policy, so that people are aware of those policies and we can easily point to them if there's any questions. We also have flyers at the children's desk and around the library about the safe child policy, the rules for certain, for supervision with certain age groups within that. We try to make it as clear as possible for people so that they understand our expectations and that we can talk to them about it and have a conversation with them about it. Another really interesting portion of that is the legally defensible policies. So there are 4 tests to see if a policy is legally defensible. So if it complies with current statutes and case law, we talked about that a lot with the collection development policy. If they're reasonable, as well as any penalties for violating those being reasonable, if they're clear and don't have ambiguous or vague language, and if they're applied without discrimination. It also talks about what's a policy, what's a procedure. So the procedure is what the staff develop to take the policy and have it in action. It talks about how the library will operate most efficiently if the board delegates that responsibility for the development of procedures and any day-to-day supervision of library operations to the library director. And it goes into more detail about the repercussions of not having that, talking about undermining the authority of the library director, things like that. So I think we currently have a really good flow of policy to procedure and day-to-day operations, which is really important. Any questions on that one? All right.
All right. Next is my report. Actually, I have some good stuff to report this month. I got an email from Brett Brandner at Ascension requesting a meeting. He's the Director of Business Development at Ascension Menomonee Falls and wants to have a meeting to see how they could do some stuff with the library to help the community.
Are they reading our mind?
I know, right? That's what I said. I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta give this. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Had you heard anything before that, Jackie?
No. I think we did connect on LinkedIn, so that's exciting. So let me know if you want me to attend, if we can talk
Yes,
about
absolutely.
programming, stuff like that. I'd be
Yes.
happy to attend. That would be awesome.
Well, yeah, and that'd be nice to get Scott.
Yes.
That is his forte.
Yeah, I think that would be a
Yes.
great thing for his.
Have
Maybe
him
he
on.
could come to one of the committee meeting. That would be great if he
That's
could
that's
come
what
to
I
a
was
committee.
thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe he could come to like one of the special event.
the outreach. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
That's what I was thinking. And then also I got a complimentary charter luncheon ticket invitation for the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated on behalf of the Perpetual Roses of Wisconsin. So I guess they meet here regularly. And they have invited me to come and share. you know,
And what's their group called?
It is the Perpetual Roses of Wisconsin.
What is that?
Never heard of it.
Okay.
But Jackie was just telling me, because I was telling her about the meeting before the meeting, and she said that they hold their meetings here, so
Okay, cool.
I thought that
Yeah.
was
That's
really
very
cool.
nice of them. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It was actually established by African-American college-educated women rooted in a legacy of scholarship, leadership, civic engagement, and service to all mankind. So I thought that was really awesome, so,
That's terrific.
yeah. Then I had Jackie make you guys a copy of an email that I was sent from a concerned resident, that we can talk out, out of here if you would prefer on this, but basically he was concerned about the printing changes, said that we didn't give enough time, so.
Okay.
I mean, I thought we did it, I think we were way below what everybody else is. So I thought it was beyond time.
Well, and that was the major thing coming out of the finance committee, was that we were way undercharging for that based on the area and based on different libraries in the area. So that's what, and we were very forthcoming with that, so.
Correct. And then I also wanted to bring your attention, you should have gotten some emails for trustee training week. There's some free continuing education on there, so I just wanted to draw your guys' attention to that. And also there is going to be a little free library dedication on Friday at 9 a.m. And you guys are all invited.
I can't, I wanted to.
All right, that's all I got. Next is the director's report.
All right. So this month has been very busy. There have been staffing changes already in anticipation of the planned budget reduction in 2026. So continuing to look at working on the budget with the $300,000 decrease in funds. We have had some open positions that we are not backfilling, so we are currently short-staffed, and we have preemptively had some one reduction in force, which has already taken place. So that has been a very busy month. In addition to the summer library program, which is always our busiest time. We have 614 adults signed up for the summer library program, which is a record. Our adult services librarian, John Cruz, put together some amazing prize packages, so I think that has a lot to do with it. 986 kids are signed up and 134 teens. Many have already completed the challenge, which is very exciting. Continuing to see a growth in circulation, both traditional and e-circulation. So Libby and Hoopla continue to increase. So we're seeing that that is a trend that's not going to go away anytime soon. So at Bridges Library System, we've had multiple meetings talking about this trend, looking at allocating more resources towards Libby so that the wait times go down, because this is the way of the future. Our card registrations have gone up. So since January, we've had over 1,400 new library card registrations, and our door count continues to increase. So last year this time, we had about 84,000 people walk through our doors. January through June this year, we're up to over 88,000. So we're seeing more people in the building, which is excellent. And just seeing more and more programs, more and more people coming to our programs. That's really the big draw, is those programs, and we're working really closely with the staff to look into what that means with the changes next year, both with staffing reductions and the hours change. So we will see a change in programs, but we're going to continue to offer as many as possible. But we're bringing in some really great new people who are just checking out the library for the first time. That's all I have.
Does the library entrance count, is that part of our Bridges analysis that they do? Is that
The
part,
Waukesha
is that
County
one of their,
standards?
is that one of their
No.
criteria? Okay. Just checkouts and check-ins.
But I'm glad to see that.
Oh, you mean for the formulas?
Yeah.
Correct.
Borrowing is going down. Our overall borrowing is starting to decrease, which is good.
Yeah. Any update on the facility?
Oh, yes. So in terms of the facilities maintenance, we are working with Growth Design Group. They have just handed off plans to the contractor today to get those cost estimates. We're going to get those estimates very soon, so that when we're looking at the 2026 budget, we'll have some idea of costs. I have reached out to Tom Hoffman at the Village about the facilities plan now that the police department renovation is moving forward. He was planning on tying our facilities analysis in terms of age of our boilers, elevators, things like that, into that, but I haven't heard back. I also inquired with him about our generator. The Village is going to be getting an updated generator for Village Hall, which will be able to power more things. I'm hoping, if we're not on that generator, to find out a little bit more about the age of our generator and whether that's something that we would be able to look into upgrading. based on the amount of power outages that we've had. David has the same issue. We're on the same grid as the high school, so we are having more and more power outages, and we stay open as much as we can unless it's pitch black outside. But we have very limited amount of outlets that actually hook up to our generator. It's a relatively small generator, so just finding out some more, fact-finding more about whether or not that could be part of the whole update to this campus.
Jackie, so does the generator that they are getting just for the
I'm
village
not
building?
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Currently, we do
And
have.
we have our own?
Correct. Currently, we do, but I'm not. I wanted to talk to him more about.
The statement made was that this new generator is going to be able to supply the entire building. So I don't know, again, you'll have to clarify that, but they
Right.
said that this will be a pretty phenomenal generator.
Well, that's my only
For
question
the
is,
building, so,
would it be
yeah.
cheaper for them to get a slightly bigger generator to cover both buildings, or is it better for us to get our own?
Right.
I would assume it
Yeah.
would be just to get a little bit bigger generator, cost-wise, instead of two, but
Yeah. So hopefully, I have some more
That's the
information for you about that next month. Hoping to talk to him a little bit more about that. Otherwise, with budget season coming up, we're going to be looking at what are the facilities needs for next year. Will we be able to make those planned improvements to the first floor in 2026? A lot of that is coordinating with the village because they're responsible for certain portions of that project as well. So lots to still find out. I will have more information for you tomorrow at the Finance Committee meeting about this, so we can go into more detail with that then.
Fantastic.
Next is the village trustees report.
On Monday, July 7th, we had a special committee meeting to discuss the two projects. And number one, the police department / village hall remodel or update. The building was 1967. There was a minimal update done in 2003. It is truly does not fit and cannot meet the needs anymore of our police department. And they didn't even consider doing an off-site separate building for the police department. I asked about that, just kind of curious. That cost would probably be, they thought, at least 4 times as much doing a separate, so doing the remodel makes a lot more sense. I could go into many reasons why this is necessary. I actually suggest everyone watches the video. There's a lot to it. The police department is they're out of space. They can't even have interview rooms where they can videotape and record. They have to take private calls. They're trying to quiet everybody. They're out of locker rooms. There's no secure perimeter. We're one of the only police departments that does not have a secure perimeter for their cars. So it's really quite dangerous. There's not enough parking for the vehicles, so they're expanding the basement. They're going to make a bigger sally port, which for those of you that don't know, that's like where they actually bring people that they have apprehended in. And for those of you, like David was saying, we have an entrance where people who are coming to the police department and sometimes suspects, they're coming through our village hall. It's very dangerous. So this will be a separate and distinct entrance. So it will be, even though it's the same building, the police department will be its own entity that is secured, that is safer. And the number 2 was the public safety training facility, which will be a combo for the police and the fire. Right now, our police department has an outdoor firing range that has become not only noisy, but quite dangerous. Neighborhoods are encroaching. This is no longer safe. If any of you ever want to get a tour and see where they train in the department down in the basement, it's made up of pretty much plywood that they've put together to do makeshift like trainings with. It's very, I can't even say outdated, it's just bad. And the village is able to use that space. If there would be a major emergency, that would actually be a place that the entire village could use as like their main area. The cost of this will include this new generator we're talking about. And if you think about things like, besides all the workings of the municipality, when we have voting and stuff like that, it's vital that we don't lose power. The construction would begin spring of 2026. There's still gonna be a lot brought forward to the village board to approve this. We did all vote yes for this on this date. Financially, the cost totally will be right about 35 million. And the police village hall renovation will be right around 20 million. The public safety training center will be right at about 14 million. One of the reasons we want to move forward with this is right now for about the next 20 years, we have significant growth in the village. We will be able to utilize the impact fees. So about 74% of the village hall police department update will be covered by impact fees, and about 62% of the public safety training center will be covered by impact fees. Unfortunately, this does mean that there could be a slight increase in taxes, and sometimes for the benefit of the community, you have to do this. It would be about $22 per $100,000 home. So if you have a $300,000 home, let's say you're looking at, $700 increase. There's a big difference. So $22 per $100,000 home. Okay, does that make sense?
$22 per 100,000
So
would
per-
be $70.
Yes,
Not
okay, thank you.
7.
Okay,
So
yeah.
s-
I was doing the
I
math.
know.
Yeah, I was like,
whoa.
I tried to
Okay, I
correct
just
it.
want to make sure because
$70.
okay.
Yes, yes,
Well, I
thank you,
just-
70.
I know it was 8 years ago, but we built an
$22
entire high
per
school
100,000.
for $36 million in Milwaukee. So I was curious about the pricing. That seemed
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so about $70.
A standalone building is over 100 million.
So it would be 4 times that to have its own separate
Oh, yeah.
building.
That's just a speculation, but
That's crazy.
and we don't have land for it. So that was another problem. And what would we do with all that space? There would really be nothing for it. So when this building was built, this is what we have to work with now, including the library. And I'm done.
All right. Next is the school district report.
Yeah, and I'll start with the effect of that project on district office. For those that don't know, the school district's district office is part of this facility, meaning the village facility, and it's the only part of the school district that we rent. So it's the only part of the school district that we rent. So the school district owns has all of its properties and its 6 buildings, plus our maintenance facility, which is not far from here. So there's a high likelihood, we're gonna have to move the district office. So Mr. Fitzgerald and I have been talking about this in the background for many months. We're close to a final agreement because we're in the middle of a 10-year lease. So with very good terms, thankfully. We're very thankful to the village for very good terms. But very likely, and we presented to our school board earlier this week, that the relocation of district office most likely will occur within one of our buildings. And we do have space, most likely at Ben Franklin, so which is close to here, and close to our inside of a current building that used to be a middle school. For those that have been in Menomonee Falls for quite a while, Ben Franklin actually used to be a middle school, and it currently houses a lower elementary for that side of town. There's quite a bit of space in there, so we're very thankful for Mr. Fitzgerald being You know, he and I meet regularly. We just met this week again. So we meet regularly about this and a lot of other things. So that's something that's a year out yet as they start gearing up for this project. The police department is going to, I mean, I agree with everything that Mrs. Lessela just said, that, you know, we see it, that when we have people and when we're coming into the district office and there's things going on, there's people asking us often, where do I find the police department? Because they're kind of in and down and over this way. So I'm very supportive of the police department. I think the village has a very good plan. And, you know, they've been working with us on the transition, which we should be able to get wrapped up in the next couple of weeks. And then we'll bring it to the school board. So just, that's our side of it. And yeah, I don't think most people knew that we're in this long-term lease for about $60,000 to $70,000 a year. I think it's $60,000 to $70,000 a year, which is very inexpensive. You know, usually in Menomonee Falls, if you're going to rent space, which is as much as we have, it's about $250,000 a year. So we have a very under market lease, which we're very thankful for, you know, for the time that we have had it. But we do have some plans in place. We're working on it, so it's transitional, but it should be very positive once it's done. Just a couple of things. There's a back to school fair, August 13th and 14th. So families, please mark it on your calendar. It's on the district website. That's what I was on my phone quick for. There'll be a banner up again on the district website, but it's August 13th and 14th. This will be the third year in a row where we're holding all of our back to school fairs for all the buildings in one location at the high school. Went really well the first couple of years. We've made some changes, some tweaks, just so all families, if you have students in other buildings, that you're all going to one place, which is the high school grade gym, to take your pictures and, you know, fees and all these sorts of things, and it all can handled in one place. We'll have a resource fair with multiple organizations, including the library and other organizations there. So that's August 13th and 14th. That's a little bit of a change from last year based on feedback from families. We'll be going the first day on the 13th from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. And then on the 14th, we'll be going 9 a.m. to noon. So there was more of a desire to get later into the evening. We didn't have a lot of people after the 7 o'clock hour. And when we started at 8 a.m., there weren't a lot of people the very early morning. But we did pick up a lot over lunch, so we made some changes for this year with that back to school fair. We have one more day of summer school tomorrow, and then we are done with all of our sessions of summer school, so we're excited about that. Summer school has gone very well. It's actually our largest school. And, you know, and most people don't, like, yeah, it's packed. Summer school is packed. We have students everywhere through tomorrow, and then we'll have final cleaning and setup for the start of school. So there's some quiet time in the district, not for staff that are cleaning and preparing. We have a lot of that going on in all of our buildings. Some of our big projects you can see going on in the community. We have over $1 million in roofing going on between two buildings, Ben Franklin and at the high school. The high school's is done. We were re-roofing over the, actually the grade gym and the cafeteria, you know, buildings. It was over 20 years since it needed it. So with standard upgrades, same sort of thing at Ben Franklin. We're doing re-roofing there, so if you drive by Ben Franklin, on the field side, you'll see a whole bunch of work going up on top of the roof. So they're doing roof work over the cafeteria and the food service area and that side of the building. So they should be done with that in a few months, or weeks, not months. So we're excited about that. On our Facebook page, which I was also looking up to make sure it was still there, and it is, congratulations to 2025 graduate Nolan Weiss, took third in the nation, it's all on Facebook, which is great, in the Accounting 2 event at FBLA Nationals, Future Business Leaders of America. We have an outstanding FBLA at both our middle school and high school, so it was a nice picture of him on the website right there, third in the nation. It was pretty great.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, so it's a pretty wonderful event. Just a couple other things. The construction project if you go to the district, there's a time lapse of the construction project at C and Rec. If you go to the district Facebook page and just hit play. I don't want to do that because it'll mess up the sound and everything there. It's a nice little time lapse of the Riverside expansion and community ed and rec expansions. For those that, just as a reminder, the rec department, or community ed and recreation, is a department of the school district. So we operate and run community ed and rec. We're putting a new gym in. All the footings are in and the walls go up. Precast walls July 28th. Drywall started today. The actual Riverside portion is in the finishing stages. So the Riverside portion of the project, when I walked through yesterday, they're ready for drywall, drop ceilings, and flooring. So we're in the final stages of, and that will be ready for the start of school, meaning the Riverside portion. The gym is going to take a few more months in order to get that up and operational. But you can see some, if you go online, you can see a whole bunch of pictures of interior walkways and nice, something that community members expressed during our strategic planning process. There used to be an indoor walking piece, I think it's at Hiawatha or TJ's. There was a place where they could walk inside at the old district office. That will now exist at CE and Rec again. It was part of the design, and those hallways are there already. So it was nice to see that. So if you drive by CE and Rec, it's starting to come up very well. We're on schedule, on budget, or under budget, which we're excited about. It's about $9 million-ish, $9 to $10 million of a project. We anticipate opening the entire facility. Riverside will be ready for the start of school. So that portion will open up with kids. They have a new library. They have a brand new library and new rooms upstairs, and some definitely some great spaces for the students. But the actual community ed and rec gym will open around Christmas. It could be as late as January. It really depends on, when you're building new, there's always things that happen. So we're excited about that project, and that is all that I have. Other than the start of school and August 13th and 14th, just a lot of thanks to Latitude, your great partner of the school district and good friends, and we're great to have. I'm very appreciative of you from the school district, and your involvement here I think is great.
Thank you. Next is the Friends report.
All right, so the Friends are continuing to do some really great things. They now have their online membership and donation portal that is linked on our website, so you can sign up to join the Friends or donate to the Friends online. They are going to have a booth at Kids Fest in Village Park on August 9th, and a new collaboration on Friday, August 29th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Friends will be at Third Space Innovation Brew House, just 5 minutes down the street, and 20% of all beer sales that day will benefit the Friends. So,
What was that date again?
Friday, August 29th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. So 20% of all their beer sales will go back to the Friends. So they're going to have activities there, and we're going to have a lot of fun things going on. So we're really excited to partner with Third Space on that. They have sponsored many of our programs this summer, a lot of our performers for children. Those have gone very, very well. And also they've just continued to be very supportive of the staff during all of the changes that we've encountered. So lots of changes, from staff hours to programming, staffing changes. They make sure to check in with us and bring us treats and cookies and cards, so we appreciate their support.
And they'll be advertising that where?
All over.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So let's see, when is the next meeting?
So it's gonna be August 13th.
August 13th at 6 o'clock. And we are
Our next
adjourned.